Good morning. Welcome to the Salt Lake Center for Spiritual Living. I'm so glad you joined us today. I hope you're having a wonderful Independence Day, Independence Weekend. I'm so glad you joined us. I want to make a special acknowledgement and welcome to those new viewers watching us today. Welcome. We have a wonderful Sunday service to share with you today. We're going to create some fireworks. We have the amazing Will Baxter in the house, special music, and Kamrin Carver, inspiring, glowing presence, sharing our message today. We're going to begin with, because the month is all about freedom, we'll begin with an opening song called Dance. It's a great way to be in life, be with the moment, feel so free. Sing with us. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Dance to the rhythm of the universe, gonna lead my destiny. I'm gonna go with the moment. I'm gonna feel so free. I'm gonna dance to the rhythm of the universe, gonna lead my destiny. I'm gonna dance. I'm gonna dance. I'm gonna dance to the rhythm of the universe, gonna lead my destiny. I'm gonna go with the moment. I'm gonna feel so free. I'm gonna dance to the rhythm of the universe, gonna lead my destiny. I'm gonna go with the moment. I'm gonna feel so free. I'm gonna dance to the rhythm of the universe, gonna lead my destiny. I'm gonna dance. I'm gonna dance. I'm gonna dance to the rhythm of the universe, gonna lead my destiny. I'm gonna dance to the rhythm of the universe, gonna lead my destiny.
I see you all out there dancing. Good morning. I'm so grateful to all of you who are love streaming services here at the Salt Lake Center for Spiritual Living. We are so happy to have you with us. My name is Linda Brewer, and we are a spiritual community where all are welcome to join us virtually, enjoy our community and our services that way, and we pray that one of these days we're going to be so happy to have you back here in the building with us, so we're clinging to that. Our practitioner holding high watch from home this morning is Wendy Condi. Throughout the service, Wendy will be in prayer, knowing that the best and highest is unfolding as we share this sacred time together. And our platform practitioner leading our prayer this morning is Teresa Martin. Our center is a spiritual community that teaches a philosophy for daily living based on spiritual principles and practices that are universal among religions. We honor every pathway by which people seek to know and connect with the divine, and we work on our individual consciousness so that we can help make the world a better place. And on this Independence Day weekend, my prayer is that we will all do the work on our own consciousness that will help to create a country and a world where all people truly live free and experience what that means to live in a world that works for everyone, which is the goal of our Centers for Spiritual Living. Here at our center, we have a vision, mission, and purpose statement, and each week we like to remind ourselves and say our purpose statement together. So wherever you are, I hope you'll join me in saying that. We are an open, welcoming community, celebrating our divinity, loving our humanity, and nurturing our journeys of spiritual discovery. And as we are all visualizing freedom for all, let that remind you to visit our website, which is www.spirituallyfree.org. Our theme for this month is Unchained Spirituality, and we're so blessed, as Rick said, to have Kamrin Carver back with us. He always does something amazing when he's up here and opens our hearts and teaches us. So we're so glad you're here, Kamrin. I'll be back next week to speak as we continue to talk about freedom for everyone. We encourage all of you to sign up for our weekly newsletter so that you know what's going on here, and also regularly visit the announcements page on our website. We are keeping that up to date daily, truly. So there's lots of information there about anything that's happening at our center. Our home office is doing lots of great programs and stuff, and that information there, as well as some information about COVID resources and the status in our own area right here in Salt Lake. If you are missing connecting with other members, which I know all of us are, remember that immediately following the service, Reverend Myrna will be on Zoom to chat with anybody else that would like to join in our community and connect together and look at each other's faces and whatever. So I hope you'll check that out after the service. I know that many of you tuned in to our 10 a.m. meditation this morning. Next week, the Sunday meditation is moving to 9:40 in the morning, and it will end at 10 instead of beginning then. This will give our audio-visual time our audio-visual team more time to prepare between the meditation and the service. We've had some glitches, as those of you who watch regularly know, and this will help them to make sure those things don't happen again in the future. It'll also give you a chance at home to take a little break, grab some breakfast, get a second cup of coffee, so that you're ready to be here when the service starts at 10:30. And a week from Tuesday, at July 14th, Wizards and Crones will meet at noon on Zoom. Wizards and Crones is a group for anyone who wants to be part of conversations designed to explore how spirituality shows up in multiple ways in our lives. The July meeting will focus on visioning what's next, creating the mental equivalents needed to manifest a post-COVID world that works for everyone. So I hope you'll join Reverend Myrna for this time of sharing and creating. And I like to remind you that one of our philosophy's foundational practices by which we create is affirmative prayer. If you're facing challenges in any area of your life, please remember that we have professional prayer practitioners who are trained in the art and science of affirmative prayer and are available to pray with you. They're on the homepage of our website. There's a place that you can send us a prayer request. If you do that, all of the practitioners will be in prayer with you this week. And if you'd really like to talk to one of them, just say so in your prayer request, and we will have one of them give you a call, and they can pray with you in person on the phone. So let us know if you'd like that. So right now, I invite you to allow Teresa's reading and the centering music to open your heart and begin to connect you with that sacred space within, and then Teresa will speak her word in prayer.
My reading today is adapted from Sacred Thinking, Awakening to Your Inner Power by Jim Lockhart. I like to think of humanity as a mosaic. When viewed from a close perspective, the mosaic seems to be a random collection of broken pieces of tile. However, when one assumes a larger perspective, those individual pieces form a larger image, complete and whole. Consciousness shifting circumstances when you have a mystical experience, the unpredictable and the powerful experience of being one with everything, called samadhi. This sense of connection can come to spiritual novices and adepts alike, and it serves as a glimpse into a reality that is transcendent to one's present perspective. The descriptions of such experience as remarkably similar all point to a sense of unity that is so powerful and complete that it cannot be adequately described with language. So, just as rivers flow from east and west to merge with the one sea, forgetting that they were ever separate rivers, so all beings lose their separateness when they eventually merge with pure spirit, into pure being. And that's from the Upanishads.
It's like the air around me. It's like the sunlight on my face. I feel the love of God surround me, and I am touched by amazing grace. And all I ever wanted, and all I ever needed, was already here, closer than the sunlight, and nearer than the air. And I breathe in, and I am filled with the Spirit, and it is health to my body, and it is peace to my mind. It is joy. It is joy to my soul. And I breathe out a simple prayer. Thank you. And my breath becomes a song that we're singing all along, that we're singing everywhere, nearer than the air. It's like the air around me. It's like the sunlight on my face. I feel the love of God surround me, and I am touched by amazing grace. And all I ever wanted, and all I ever needed, was already here. the sunlight and nearer than the air.
Closer than breathing and nearer than the air. And in this quiet space of oneness and knowing our freedom in this divine essence. This is a day to know our freedom of who we are, our connection to the oneness, to the one divine light, to the intelligence of the universe that speaks through us and as us. This intelligence that is everywhere present and showing its delight and beauty all around. Everywhere present in each and every one. Today I celebrate that freedom. I celebrate myself. I celebrate all whom I meet this day. I celebrate their sacredness, their holiness, the holy ground they stand on. There is power in this freedom. There is relief and there is release in knowing that we are free. We are free to think and to be. That freedom to be is who I am. And who all beings are. I make new choices in my life in this freedom. I think new thoughts in this freedom. I am truly grateful for this power and presence that lives in all beings, that is here present this day, on this amazing 4th of July weekend that we celebrate. I give thanks for the beauty that surrounds me, so for the beauty inherent in every being and everything. All is. God is. I give thanks, as together we say, and so it is.
I'm going to invite you to sing with us again, our community song for the month of July. It's a new song inspired by current events. Specifically in meditation, I felt Mr. George Floyd talking to me from beyond the veil. And these lyrics came. Timely message. It's not that hard to sing this song. Even though it's new, I invite you sing along with us. It's called Free. 2, 3.
I see my choices. I am free.
Thank you. It's so fun to try out a new song. Oh my gosh, that's a blast. It's my privilege to introduce our special music today. He is a regular, and there's a reason for that. He's marvelous. It's such a distinctive sound and songwriting skill. The guitar skills are just off the chart. And he's a great guy. The Will Baxter Band plays a couple nights a week outdoors on a patio at Kimmy's house, Kimmy's Chop House and Oyster Bar. Real casual setting. The tables are set, at a appropriate social distance, and I promise you, you will not be disappointed. Take advantage of that opportunity. Go have some good food and listen to some great music by the Will Baxter Band. But we've got him just by himself, amazing soloist, Will Baxter.
Thanks, Rick. Thank you. Love that new song. That was great. Oh, good morning, everybody. This has been a great opportunity for finding new connections. I thought I'd play a song about that. It's by an old American singer-songwriter that sadly passed away a couple months ago due to COVID, John Prine. This is one of his. It's called In Spite of Ourselves. She don't like her eggs all runny. She thinks crossing her legs is funny. She looks down her nose at money. She gets it on like the Easter bunny. She's my baby, I'm her honey. Never gonna let her go. He ain't got laid in a month of Sundays. I caught him once, he was sniffing my undies. He ain't too sharp, he gets things done. He drinks his beer like it's oxygen. He's my baby, I'm his honey. Never gonna let him go. In spite of ourselves, we'll end up sitting on a rainbow. Against all odds, honey, we're the big door pride. We're gonna spy, and our noses right off of our faces. There won't be nothing but big old hearts dancing in our eyes. She thinks all my jokes are corny. Convict movies makes her horny. She likes ketchup on her scrambled eggs. Swears like a sailor when she shaves her legs. She takes a licking, keeps on ticking. Never gonna let her go. He's got more balls than a big brass monkey. He's a whacked out weirdo and a love bug junkie. Sly as a fox, crazy as a loon. Payday comes and he's howling at the moon. He's my baby, don't mean maybe. Never gonna let him go. In spite of ourselves, we'll end up sitting on a rainbow. Against all odds, honey, we're the big door pride. We're gonna spy, our noses right off of our faces. There won't be nothing but big old hearts dancing in our eyes. In spite of ourselves, we'll end up sitting on the rainbow. Against all odds, honey, with a big door pride. We're gonna spy our noses right off of our faces. There won't be nothing but big old hearts dancing in our eyes. There won't be nothing but big old hearts dancing in our eyes. Thank you. Thanks very much. John Prine, everybody.
Wow, thanks, Will. That was awesome. All right, so Kamrin first joined the Salt Lake Center for Spiritual Living in 2004. Remember those days. He was a member of the Core Council youth leadership team, and he served the community as a practitioner. He now serves a different community as the owner of a private practice and clinical director of Mindful Life Recovery Center in North Salt Lake. Kamrin speaks throughout the country on trauma, addiction, and the impact of mental health on traumatized individuals, couples, and families. He is raising 2 teenagers at home, with his oldest son serving our country as a U.S. Marine. Thank you. In his spare time, Kamrin finds joy in officiating weddings, traveling the world with his family, and exploring the many joys of hiking, rock climbing, meditation, and yoga. With all that he's got going on in his life, we are so glad that he is willing to spend time here speaking with us and being one of our regular speakers. I give you Kamrin Carver.
And thank you, everyone, for that warm welcome. I appreciate it very much. I feel like I'm coming out of a trance after that song. Thank you so much. I don't know where I went for that little moment, but I got to come back. I never thought last time I spoke that I'd be doing it twice to this situation, but I think this is our new normal, and I think we get to settle in for that. Exploring what it looks like to survive a global pandemic in spiritual community. I'm okay rolling with the punches. Hopefully this message gets out to more people. Hopefully we see hindsight 2020 one day, how this was all just a beautiful, wonderful part of an existing process we just didn't realize at the time, right? Isn't that kind of what this is all about? So I'd like to reach out to all those who are in their homes right now, the father trying to raise his children and stay sane, the single woman who sits in her apartment just longing for a hug or human touch from another person, and that poor couple who thought they'd be honeymooning on some tropical paradise and is just home with Netflix. But most of all, well, not most of all, also, I want to say hi to everybody back at the center where I will be going after this. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you guys are buckled down into this social distancing and can benefit from the topic that we're speaking on today, because I did have you in mind as I wrote this today as well, and look forward to seeing and connecting with you when I get back. You know, as we have just celebrated the 4th, there is this sense of what is freedom, you know, running through social media, through us as individual conscience, and trying to understand what that means for each and every one of us. I really noticed, you know, as I scrolled through different feeds and seeing the stark contrast. You had those with the flags and the red, white, and blues, so proud to be part of this country. And then you had those that were fighting and screaming and saying, no, this is not what we want. This is not what we will accept. And those extremes have everything in between. What I noticed, and you know, as part of my work as a professional, clinician is that those who are in the demographic where, the box fits, right? The freedoms work, everything's great. Like, there's no need to question this country or its stance on how it's impacting their lives, are waving the flags. That demographic does feel free. But the demographic that does not, they have a lot to say, and they don't necessarily feel proud or feel like celebrating right now. And so I'd like to speak to everyone on that spectrum today. What is freedom, and why do we feel it, and why don't we in different areas of our lives? Never before have we seen a world rise up the way that it is today to protect freedom. Martin Luther King's Free at Last speech is very appropriate nowadays, because what he fought for is still what we are fighting for. The platform has changed slightly, but not by much. And yet, what I would like to focus on today is allowing for individual consciousness to be free at last. We're going to let society and riots and everything else that's out there doing what it does do what it does without us interfering. What I choose to focus on this morning is how we liberate ourselves and allow Martin's dream, Dr. King's legacy, to come alive within each and every one of us. As we look out into our world, we see that this hot topic is buzzing everywhere. What I have noticed as I've watched people react, regardless of how that reaction looks, is that they are scared. There is a primal fear being triggered right now. And, contrary to popular belief where it was thought that death or public speaking might be our greatest human fears, it is actually the loss of our freedoms that we react to the most violently. And if you want to challenge that theory, try ignoring a child for a minute, because that'll get you the same response as you see in the world at large today. I remember as a teenage babysitter of my 5 younger siblings, I loved the game where we would just make them disappear. And you didn't talk to them, you didn't see them. Oh my gosh, that glass is floating in the air, look at it, right? Like, that was one of my favorite games to play, because I didn't really have to do anything. I could just sit there and they would freak out that they couldn't be seen. What I didn't realize is that psychologically I was abusing their poor little psyches, and didn't realize that I was taking from them that basic human need, the need to be seen, the need to impact their environment, the need to know that what they have to offer is of value somewhere, even if it's on some little small scale. Now, when you blow that up into relationships and marriages, I don't know if you know the term stonewalling, but it is one of the most psychologically abusive aspects of relationship that can be inflicted upon another person. It's where you literally withdraw. You don't look at each other, you don't speak to each other, it's if you don't exist, and that damages a person to the core. Collectively, if we look at government, if we look at social standards and rights that are being fought for right now, isn't that what's being responded to? I don't matter. I'm not seen. No matter how loud I scream, I'm not heard. It's that primal fear that's being responded to right now. And my drive today is that we take that primal fear that's being projected into the external world and we bring it in and we say, what am I really screaming at? Where am I oppressing myself? Where am I screaming at myself to rise up and form a revolution? Where do I ignore myself when I scream, please give me relief, stop suffering? And yet I still do the same things to bind and confine me in ways that I've never really addressed or seen that I have power in. Freedom is our birthright. It is what we'll violently fight for no matter what. It's what is fought for in all of these different causes. As you look in the hearts and eyes of each of these people as they are fighting, look at what they are truly saying. Look at what is really coming out in them right now. Can you see yourself in their eyes? And I'm not saying, are you with or against the causes that they're fighting for? I'm saying, where in your life are you screaming this loudly at yourself? Where in your life are you revolting and saying, why can't I just take control of this one area of my life, or 10? Why can't I do that? And where in your life do you feel this helpless? As we look out into that fear that we are not being heard, I believe that there is an even deeper fear, the fear that we are not hearing ourselves. We are not hearing our own voices. We are not responding to our own truth. When we ignore that, or when we feel helpless against that, we create a cognitive dissonance that is an undercurrent for everything that we do. And we always feel at a disease. We feel like there is something off, like we are not truly connecting with who we really are. And as you look into these faces, I invite you to see that fight that exists within you. Where are you stuck and chained and bound? Ernest Holmes has something he'd like to say about this. The divine plan is one of freedom. The inherent nature of man is ever seeking to express itself in terms of freedom, because freedom is the birthright of every living soul. So of course we're going to fight against that. If we are literally fighting for our birthright, oh yeah, we're going to react pretty intensely. But how much of us look at it that way? How much of us look at the fact that there is something inside of us that literally keeps us from our own birthright? But then we project it out into the world and we say, no, it's my spouse, it's my child, it's my government that takes this away from me. And so I'm going to fight them because they are the real villain here. Completely neglecting the fact that the villain is 100% inside of us, and we don't even realize that because we're so disconnected from who we are that we've forgotten that we hold the key to our own liberation. Why is it so hard to see that we are challenging this? Why do we disconnect from something so simple? If we were to really just look at it in the nuts and bolts of it, if we hold the key, why don't we just open the door? Well, there's a psychological explanation for this. The 3 F's, the way we respond to something that's threatening our very lives: fight, flight, freeze, right? Which one of those is happening in our lives as we think of that issue that we brought up earlier? Some of us are going to rush out into the world and fight. We're going to join the protests. We're going to hold up the signs. We're going to put things in our lawns. We're going to make sure social media knows our stance, and we're going to vent that energy as much as we can out to the world. Some of us are going to freeze and have no idea what to do. We're going to stare out the window for hours and not realize time is passing. We're going to sleep because if we're awake, our brains and our bodies are just too painful to have to deal with that. Or we're going to run, and we're just not going to think about it, and it's just not going to be there. But I invite you to look at which response you're taking part in, because that response leads you back and tells you how and to what degree you are experiencing this trauma in your life. Because take note, it is trauma. If you have to go into one of those mechanisms, you are being traumatized in that moment, and your brain is being flooded. Your cognitive ability to understand what's happening gets shut down, and you can't see or let that logic come in. It completely shuts you down, and so all you have to offer, all you have to react to is that primal base instinct of one of those 3 F's. And how do we find our way back from that? John F. Kennedy has a wonderful quote. He stated, "The great revolution in the history of man, past, present, and future, is the revolution of those determined to be free." I love this because when we combine revolution with freedom, essentially what we're saying is the greatest power we have at our disposal to elicit change is to notice where that disconnect is and to fight with everything we have to save ourselves. And what greater power do we have inside of us than to revolt, than to use that rage and that anger and that part that says no more, and to channel it into something that's actually effective, instead of just sitting back expecting that if we post memes all day, that that's somehow going to change the world. Yes, it does relieve some of that social anxiety, but how much more of it does it actually exacerbate? True freedom is knowing that no matter what life throws at us, the choice in how we respond to that is where true power resides. Viktor Frankl taught us this more than I think anyone else because he lived it. These weren't just words that he thought were a great idea or something that he got from a textbook or school. He actually came to this conclusion when he had everything taken from him, when the world had stripped him of every single human dignity available to him, and all he had left was his power to choose. And when he said, forces beyond your control can take away everything you possess, except one thing, your freedom to choose how you respond to the situation. When he said that, it's because he did that in the depths of human suffering within a concentration camp. Having survived that experience and came out to tell the tale in his book, Man's Search for Meaning, he shows us the power of the mind. He shows us that the world can be burning in front of us, and we still can choose how to view that. We still can choose how we experience that in every moment. A wonderful way of dealing with these situations is this philosophy that we come to celebrate every single week. The science of mind teaches us how to take control of those thoughts. Ernest Holmes, in his book, The Science of Mind, shows us how we can reach in and use the powers that are all around us to free us from the burdens that we inflict upon ourselves. And so many New Thought authors are coming to the table and adding different language to this same philosophy, one of them being Byron Katie. She joins with Ernest Holmes in allowing us to free ourselves from that prison by simply showing us how to live in harmony with the way things are. The flow of life that is all around us, that Ernest Holmes calls God, allows us to jump in, to connect, to be a part of what's happening instead of fighting against it all the time. And as the name of her book would state, we then find 1,000 names for joy. Because when we're not fighting, joy is the only other available option, believe it or not. And I remember at the depths of my fight, when I was struggling with everything in my life that was going on that was really dark, one of the 100 times that I can pull up right now. But when it gets the worst, I remember this belief that as long as I think that anyone or anything else outside of me is responsible for my suffering, the situation is hopeless. I remember feeling hopeless. And that it means that I am forever in the role of victim. And yeah, that feels good sometimes, but it gets old really fast. That I am suffering in paradise. That one statement, suffering in paradise, awakened me. And I realized that, yes, I'd been studying science of mind for years by the time I found this quote, but it was like that missing piece that unlocked what I'd been trying to learn through meditation and affirmative prayer and everything that this philosophy teaches. Ernest showed me the way to Katie. I like to call her Katie. Everybody calls her Katie. Because she was the one that allowed me to see what I was missing. I was missing that paradise was already here. I was using affirmative prayer to go out into the world and to say, I'm going to change the world so that I can feel better about myself. And I didn't realize that I was misappropriating the use of that power. Affirmative prayer, science of mind, teaches we go in here and we change it, and then it changes. We don't change it here to manipulate our external circumstances. We change it here because we want to be free. And once we're free and the lie and the illusion lets go of us, the only thing left is paradise. And I saw that firsthand in so many aspects of my life. My brother, when I was camping with him, we were up at a ranch last month. He's been through some struggles, been through a lot of therapy, and he was really reaching out and trying to find his way through all of the interventions that were being thrown at him. And he just said, out of everything that you do with your clients and your patients and everything that comes through your office, what would you say is the number one reason people get well? Like, he was just searching. He was like, there's so many ways. What is the one that you use? And without even thinking, it came to me just like instantly. And I was like, whether as a practitioner here at the center or whether I'm a clinician out there as a therapist, the thing that I do each and every day is I teach people that the only cause of suffering is a thought. That's it. Thought breeds belief. Belief breeds action. Action breeds cyclical, reliable outcomes of suffering, of joy, of whatever. And my only job in the world is to shine light into those shadows that allow people to believe that they truly are victims and are suffering. As we step into the world of addiction and recovery, it has so much to offer us. I don't think any struggle on earth is as great as the struggle to overcome addiction, because we are literally at the mercy of our minds. Our minds have literally been taken over, and we are now helpless against our biology, our thought process. Everything gets hijacked. And it's a great metaphor that shows us where our true power is, because the 12 steps gives that back after the mind has become so diseased that it can't function on its own. And so through my study of the 12 steps, I found I jumped ahead. Sorry, we're going to get to Rosa in a minute. I found a way to freedom. Now, this freedom, once it's found, does not only stay with us, because like the 12 steps say, it actually must be given. The 12th step shows us that we turn around after we've been given everything that is miraculous within that program, and we give it back. We give it back by sponsoring, by volunteering, by becoming a decent, contributing human being in society. And that is what Rosa was talking about when she said, I would like to be remembered as a person who wanted to be free so other people would be also free. What she is saying is that I didn't become free just for myself. I found freedom within myself so others could find that too. Those who witness freedom want to give freedom. Those who see the path there want to show others how to get there, as if we would guiding somebody out of a burning building. Nelson Mandela, when he freed himself from his own prison, stated, "For to be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that enhances the freedom of others." And I believe as a country, that's where we're sick right now. We are a free nation, and yet we're imprisoning our own people. We are taking freedoms and giving them to some and taking them from others. We are oppressing over here and elevating over here. We have been given the greatest gift that we fought for as a nation early on, and now we are saying who deserves it and who does not. And that's where we are sick. But how are we doing that to ourselves is even more important. What parts of ourselves do we allow full expression? What parts of ourselves do we hold back? And how do we imprison that in the same way? Because it's just a mirror. And anytime we look out there and we get angry at what's happening and all the injustice, we're getting angry because that same injustice exists inside of us. Remember that above everything, that it is your gateway, not your obstacle. The 12-step prayer that I was talking about is called the third step prayer. And this is what I use every day that I remember. Whenever I'm feeling stressed or struggling against whatever odds are coming against me, I remember this prayer. And it states, God, I offer myself to thee to build with me and to do with me as thou will. Relieve me of the bondage of self that I might better do thy will. Take away my difficulties, that victory over them may bear witness to those I would help of thy power, thy love, and thy way of life. May I do thy will always. When I can step into that place, and when I can stop the struggle that's in me that thinks it knows best, that thinks it knows the perfect outcome, that thinks I am the omniscient and that it should go the way that I think it should, I step into this beautifully flowing river and I let it take me wherever it needs to go. And I stop swimming upstream and I surrender. And I say, whatever needs to happen, I just want to be a part of the best part of that. I just want to get out of the way. I just want to stop it from expressing the way that it's supposed to because I am somehow making that more difficult. What I've realized in that process is that I become the gateway to some of my greatest blessings. As I do this, the struggles that I have become the door that I step through. Everything in my life that I thought was going to take me down and destroy me has actually shown me where my true power is. Because as I have allowed that to come out and to free myself, I see that it was just a boogeyman, and that when the light came on, it was just a pile of clothes on the floor the whole time. And so I would like to call us to action. Instead of going out into the world and instead of believing that we have to go to social media and have them tell us everything that we have to feel that day, instead of this dramatization of eliciting expansive chaos and struggle and fight, that depressive feeling that we go out and we get, instead of letting them dictate that for us, how about we dictate it for ourselves? Breaking news. Passed a little boy on the street on his bike today. He smiled. It reminded me of the innocence of youth. And I teared up when I thought how free he must be. Breaking news. My wife got an amazing promotion at work, and she is elated, and I love seeing her that happy. That makes me so happy. Breaking news, I went on a hike today. My body can climb a mountain. My eyes can see a sunset. My skin can feel the rays as it basks in the goodness of life. If we detached from everything that's around us, this would be our breaking news. This is what we would feed our souls. And I'm not saying we have to disconnect entirely, but I am saying we get to have a balance somewhere, and maybe it starts here. So as we prepare to join together today in prayer, I'd like to elicit a meditation. Take a moment and pull that situation in that we had earlier at the beginning that brought out that greatest stress in you. Bring it to mind and ask yourself some questions. What if this thing is actually the best thing that could possibly happen to me right now? How could this thing that is causing so much pain contribute to my finding my own purpose and passion on this planet? And can I possibly find 3 positive outcomes that may not be happening now, but that could at some future point bless my life because this occurred? And now imagine that you are 10 years down the road looking back at this moment in time. What do you see differently about it? How was it the gateway to your freedom? And how did it show you where your power really is? And how can it essentially free you? Now pull that into this moment and begin your own revolution and let yourself be free. I'd like to remind you that practitioners are available to join with you in prayer at any time. Please use them. And today as I speak this prayer, let this prayer be for you as well, and let these words be your own. And so, as I am still, and I know the truth of this being that I call me, I know that I am one with God, that power that runs in and through all life. I am the principle of peace which lives in me. I am the manifestation of love within me. My mind is poised in this peace and freedom, as all sense of fear or doubt is gone. I rest in the calm trust and rely on the law of spirit to bring good into my experience. I remain free of conflict with others and life as it perfectly presents itself in each divine moment. I let go of the need to argue with reality and am filled with the wonderful joy of acceptance. There is no uncertainty about my future and no fear as a result of my past. I live in an eternal now, which is filled with good alone. Goodness and beauty follow me. Happiness and wholeness fill my entire being with the realization of love and perfection. I am the answer I've been looking for. The freedom I have demanded of others is only mine to give and mine to claim. This inner mind of mine is now divine and complete. It has no worries and no doubt in this inevitable outcome. I look back over all previous experiences and find that they were good, better than I could have hoped for. I look towards the future and find that it is exciting and full of hope. I look at the present and find that it is also more than I ever dreamed it would be. My empowerment and freedom are all, in all, over all, and through all. I now release any thought which stands in the way of my own personal revolution. I stand in this truth knowing that it cannot be any other way. And so it is.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I give. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Thank you, Kamrin. Thank you. That was wonderful. So now is our time of conscious giving, which is at our center here, is another spiritual practice. It's something we do for our own spiritual health and well-being. And as we are having our services remotely, in order to keep everyone safe and well, we are grateful for your continued support of our financial health, and the financial health of our center, as all of our expenses continue, as you can imagine, as they were when we were still meeting together each week. Thank you for continuing to give. Now I invite you to bring your gift into your mind and into your heart as we speak together. Our giving blessing. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Filled with gratitude, I let this be, and so it is. Thank you.
All that I need comes to
Let's hear some more from the amazing Will Baxter.
Gotta live it, you gotta feel it, you gotta listen, gotta believe it. Life don't give you nothing else. Wilderness drive, I'm alive with parallels. I'm in love, you're on my mind. So in love, you're on mine. I'm in love, so in love. Yes, I'm in love, so in love. Expectations that I run from, big mistakes and assumptions, carelessness and its outcome. I've got large regrets, yeah, I've got some. Oh, I'm in love, you're on my mind. So in love, you're on mine. I'm in love, so in love. Yes, I'm in love, so in love. Can't build a house with laziness. You're not alone in your craziness. You know my body, know my heart, know my mind when we're apart. And I'm in love, on my mind. So in love, you're on my mind. I'm in love, so in love. Yeah, I'm in love, I'm in love. Isolation breeds debutantes. You're not alone in what you want. Being with you is like a holiday. When we're apart, hear you say, I'm in love, you're on my mind. So in love, you're on my. I'm in love, so in love, yeah. I'm in love, so in love. So in love, yeah, I'm in love. I'm in love, I'm in love. I'm in love, so in love, yeah, I'm in love, let's be in love, love, so in love, so in love. So much, thank you. Thanks, Rick. Thank you.
Will Baxter, I want to thank you for joining us today. What a marvelous time we had. I hope you did too. A reminder, there's a Zoom chat. There's a link to it on that same Facebook page where you found this link. A nice kind of fellowship discussion, conversation, socializing, hosted by our dear Myrna Hurst, who take advantage of that. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Independence Day weekend. You celebrate yourself. I want to especially thank Mr. Will Baxter for the marvelous music and Kamrin, Carver, my gosh, what a powerful message today. It was beautiful. We're so blessed. We're going to learn a new closing song together. It's about freedom. It's called All That I Need to Be Free.
Written by Rick Charette.